Hello, my July surfers. That's what I decided to call you, unless you have a better idea. I'm gonna keep calling you that. My fellow July surfers, I got a request from a viewer asking number one, define love. Why do we love someone? What is loving and not loving anymore? And desire of love and attention. So, this is gonna be a long video, but I will try to make the points as clearly as I can make them. Number one, what is love? I think love is simply defined as acknowledging the other person's existence for what it is, without any attachment to control um, or needing that person to be something else, something better. Just seeing a person for who they are. That is love, right? So this concept of love has evolved a little bit. So let me define, let me walk through the steps of how I arrived at this definition, because I think it'll make sense to you. Good. Okay. So my first introduction to the concept of love came in my training for becoming a life coach, and the material that was saying is like you are already love worthy, but why you don't feel love is because the capacity of those around you to give you love is lacking, right? So, for example, I'm not loved by my parents because I'm unlovable. I suck. That's how most people think about it. But in reality, no, I'm perfectly lovable as I am, but it's just that my parents don't have the capacity to love me unconditionally, right? And so that's a good starting point, and that makes a lot of sense. And now, if you really think about it, it's for some people, it's that's really hard to accept, right? Like I don't get it. Like what makes everyone just inherently lovable, right? And so I even asked the instructor. Then by that definition, is Hitler lovable? And the reply that I got at the time is Hitler before he became this like horrible person was a baby once, right? Filtered. I mean like unaffected by everything poisonous that he got inflicted with during the later stages of his life. He was once a pure person who was just born into the world. And that person inside is still inside Hitler, and that person is lovable. And basically, it's not saying that everything that he did is inherently worthy of love, right? So I get that. Now, that can be very difficult for a lot of people to accept, right? So I thought, okay, what if I could work a definition even better than that, right? So number one, you love and you appreciate Spider-Man, right? Most people do. Spider-Man is very popular. Why? Because like underneath all the crime fighting is a very vulnerable human, right? Who's trying to who's struggling to just make it through life, has to sell like counterfeit photos of himself to the Daily Bugle, and like his whole like story with Uncle Ben and such. Not an easy thing to experience for people. People love Harry Potter too, right? Um, but the thing is, they don't even exist in real life, right? So this means physically existing in this world is not even a requirement for being loved. So then, like, if we really think about it, something being loveworthy, like something loveworthy meaning like this person, this entity that exists, like I am able to give love to it, right? That's love worthiness in my opinion. Now, like that can be done to even non physical things, right? So the basic requirement of being lovable is just existing in this world, right? If it exists, someone can apply their love to it. And now, let's come back to love worthiness. I love dogs, right? Um, I love all dogs. I have two dogs. But I have one dog who's so happy to look at me, right? He's walking, 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 and the tails are wagging, and super cool and super cute, right? Now, I love all dogs, but is it easier to love than that dog or a very big and kind of almost rabid dog, like foaming at its mouth, trying to harm me? It's easier to love that first dog. But if I get to know the big dog and see why it has temper problems and like why it has aggression problems, I can still love that dog, right? It just takes time for me to get there. So, love worthiness is inherent, but there are things you can do to make it easier for other people to love you, right? But um, that doesn't mean that you need to do that, but I'm just pointing out that some things make it easier for you to love. Some things make it easier for you to be loved. Okay, so so far we covered the base requirement for having the ability to accept love is just existing in this world, nothing else. But it's easier to receive, it's easier to give love to certain things that have features that are more inviting to love, inviting to receiving love. Got it. And now, then, what about Hitler, right? Coming back to Hitler, like, Hitler still is a person, right? A person in this world. And now, he had a lot of support in Germany back then, right? But he's still the same person, just observed during different points of time. So now that implies that the person by himself, like how we look at that person may differ, but proven by his the support that he got during his time, it proves that Hitler existed in this world, and people were able to apply their love to Hitler. Therefore, it is possible that Hitler is love worthy, right? The actions now are definitely condemnable, and it's a very horrible thing that he did. Now, for that, he pays like in the form of karma, and he pays in the form of like war crimes, but he ended his own life. So he attempted to escape from that. But the lineage that he left behind is paying the karma for the karma is basically taking care of the transactions underneath. Okay, so enough talk about Hitler. My definition of love simply is if it exists, like it can be loved. Okay, now coming back to what actually love is, right? We defined lovability. Now, what love is I said it's if you just acknowledge its existence. It's not part of something else. It is completely and wholly its own entity, right? That I think is the key feature of love. Like being able to unconditionally give, that is the ultimate definition of love. So why is this? How did I arrive at this definition specifically? Number one, my parents, for example, all these are hypothetical by the way. My parents love me very much. If my parents only love me if I get straight A's, then that's conditional love, right? So can they really say that they love me wholly? No, right? If I end up like become a drug user and I end up going to jail, they will not love me, right? I don't think that's love. That is basically you're thinking. My parents are thinking of me not as an independent person with the ability to make free decisions. My parents are viewing me as an accessory to fulfill their life goals, right? I am basically a chess piece of their greater game. So that I don't think it's love, because they're not accepting me for my own authority, my own entity. I don't exist to them. I am an extension of them. I don't exist to them, right? So that's not love. And for example, my wife, wonderful person, but let's say I want her to do things. I don't know, like I want her to kiss me every day like 100 times, and if she doesn't do that, maybe she doesn't love me. That's why, right? Now, if I start putting conditions like that on giving her love, then again, like it's my I'm seeing her as something I need to control, but I just can't seem to control her, right? Like my view of her being this something that I need to control is that I'm not loving her. I don't see her as a human being who has full freedom. Like I give that ability to Spider-Man, but I don't give that ability to her, right? That's not love. Love is people do crazy things, people do shitty things, people do things that make me crazy, but I look at them without judgment and I see them. Yep, if I were in their shoes, I'd probably do the same thing. Yep, that person has their life and they probably have very good reasons to live that way. Like, seeing a person for who they are and nothing else. They don't need to change, they don't need to do anything. They just simply can exist. My acknowledgement and my acceptance of their complete being is love. So, I hope that makes sense. And now, let's move on to the next questions. Why do we love someone? There is no inherent reason why we love someone, right? But the important thing to distinguish here is love is different from lust, right? If you want to touch this person, if you want to like caress this person, if you want to hug this person, if you want to, have sex with this person, those are all like lust. You want like something inside that sexual frustration or like sexual tension. You want that relieved through this other person. So that's like using this other person as a tool. That's not really love, right? You're not viewing them as one independent entity, and you're instead using them as a tools for your needs. So a lot of people do that though, right? Like a lot of people do love other people, like get in relationships in order to fulfill their shortcomings, right? Fulfill their loneliness, fulfill their like lack of feeling loved. You have to take care of that yourself. Like you feeling lonely is something you gotta take care of yourself. You feeling like you don't deserve love or you lack the ability to be loved, that's gotta be resolved by yourself. Otherwise, you just end up using other people as your tool. You don't see them and you don't acknowledge them as independent beings who can do whatever they want. You're using them for your selfish gains, right? It's just a different context of trying to use this person to, I don't know, scam or like do pyramid schemes and such, right? It's just the same thing, but applied to your emotional needs, not your financial needs. It's like wanting this person to be a cosigner on your loan, but in emotional needs. Take care of all that yourself, and now you become this person who fully acknowledges themselves first, right? That's unconditional self-love. I don't need to do anything else. I'm already lovable. Everything I do, every free will I execute, it's perfect. I'm lovable. That is the basis of self-love. And other people, I love you. I'm in a romantic relationship with you because I want to be with you. I'm having a good time. I can have a good time without you. But I happen to enjoy time with you. And I want that, right? Because it feels good. It won't kill me to not have you, but it's good. And you happen to feel the same way about me. Awesome. Let's do it. And when that aligns, you'll see how much of a miracle it is, like kind of a miraculous thing. Um, of course it feels good. Like the world is aligning according to your needs, right? And you don't have control over the world, but you ended up there. Great feeling. That's why I think that good feeling of the world aligning with your needs is a fairly magical experience, and I think that's why we love someone, right? But like loving someone, regardless of what they do, like the love concept of love that I propose in this video, just feels good, right? Because you don't need other people to do anything, and that need to control other people, when you let that go, it leaves up so much room for your life that you now can start enjoying your life without having to worry about those like things you cannot control. What is loving and not loving anymore? So this I think is related to a breakup, right? You can continue to love other people if they left you, right? So, yeah, oh no, you left. We got a divorce or we broke up. But the thing is, you're a person who can do that. You have free will. You're your own person. You don't need to be with me. I acknowledge that, right? And now, that means you can live on without me, but I still love you as a person because I see you for who you are. And now, do I want to continue like wanting someone that doesn't want to be with me? Now, that's a question you ask yourself, right? And there's no wrong answer right here, right? And you can continue to want someone, but it's just that whenever you want something you cannot control, you're kind of setting yourself up for disappointment. So knowing that, do you want to continue to set up your life for disappointment is the bigger question. Sometimes we need to experience those things and like, so this is what disappointment feels like. It's pretty bad. Yeah, I tried it. I don't think I want it anymore. It's like, I don't know, maybe you tried salmon for the first time. It's like, salmon, not for me. Maybe you try tuna for the first time. It's like, whoa, tuna's actually really good, right? Maybe it's one of those things that you just gotta try out in life. Okay, desire of love and attention. Again, desire of love is like something you gotta acknowledge by yourself. Yeah, I want to feel loved. Okay, gotta take care of that yourself. Otherwise, you start looking at people as tools to solve your problem. And when you're on the receiving end of it, feels pretty bad. Think about it. Like, oh yeah, it's so good to catch up with you. Oh yeah, yeah, we should totally hang out next time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, you know what? And yeah, have you heard of this like product called blah 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 blah? Feels pretty bad, right? You don't like. I mean, nothing's stopping you from doing it, and your free will. I love you regardless of whether you do that or not because I acknowledge your freedom. But like, would I suggest it as a human being, fellow human being? I don't. And as someone who knows like about the ins and outs of the mental health and spirituality and being a human being, I don't recommend that. Like, why do you want attention? Because you are deprived of attention, and probably when you were growing up, right? But the thing is it other people's responsibility and job to give it to you? No, you gotta take care of that yourself. Like, you have to give all the attention that you want to yourself. That's how self love grows. Self reliance is gonna enable you to do many, many, many magical and powerful things, which I will talk about in the upcoming few videos. And so, the only, I think, people really responsible for giving you love in kind of like a ethical kind of a sense is your parents. But not a lot of like even parents have free will, right? But the parents that you got are the ones you had. The childhood that you got is what you had. The growing up experience that you got is the one you have. But does it mean that you're fucked for life? Like, does it mean that if you have a certain childhood, you never ever have a chance to achieve anything else in life? Are you doomed to stay that way? No, your life is up to you to decide every day. What am I gonna do today? You don't have to be bound by the past. You can be informed by your past, but you don't need to be bound by your past decisions. And that's why. But I know it's hard. It's fucking hard. That's why I'm here to help you do that, right? By helping you become truly self-reliant and self-loving. You don't need to do anything to be lovable. You are already lovable, and I see you as you are, and I love you.